And hello, everybody. I'm here this morning in my office. And we're having a very cloudy day, and we got some snow coming. And so I just thought I better be in my office. It's actually the lightest room so far. And my backdrop is some of my artwork. Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades. I write books, I paint, make jewelry. I mean, all of that stuff. I guess when you're right brained, you just naturally know how to do all of this stuff. But anyways, so today, a lot in doing Reiki sessions with some of my clients and doing heart math work with some of my clients, a lot of things have been coming up, and it's dealing with the dark side. And, we carry so much of that. I have dark side in me, and so I'm not worthy. And according to the new age, I have to ignore it, and I have to meditate, and I have to, that's it's not good if I have a dark side. It just means that I have lack, and that I'm a low vibration, and which is all. Some people call it the New Age movement, I guess. I don't know. But which is all part of that false light matrix stuff, that demiurge. It's just, another way of keeping us controlled and keeping us away from a part of us that we really need. It's that self-preservation part of us. And excuse the microphone. My other one died, and I ended up buying one, and it's the one that you have to have right up to your face in order to work. I'm not really happy with it, but I'm not a techie person. I am a right-brained person. So anyways, back to dealing with the dark side. And this, it has to deal with our ascension. I mean, ignoring our dark side and ignoring our past and trying to bury what we've done in our past is only holding us back and stopping us from peeling away the layers that's needed to move forward and lighten the density of our body. And it also is about bringing into balance. We hear about the balance, the return of the goddess and the divine feminine, and controlling the masculine. Some women need to bring in more of the masculine aspects, no more of that subservient crap that was handed down from the Old Testament. And still so many women, I see them. I'm in an area where we have a lot of Amish, and I see them in stores with their bonnets and their dark clothing, and they don't even want to make eye contact with you, especially me. Oh, I'm such a scary looking person. But so dark side. I guess the best thing I can do is tell you a little bit about my dark side. There's a badass in here, and when I grew up in a very unhappy life home. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was 7, and I didn't realize that was one of my major traumas in life. And so I dealt with a lot of anger issues because of the divorce, and my stepdad was not the nicest person in the world, and he liked to do mean things to me and my younger sister. And I think when I was triggered and when I collected, the badass started coming out in me was when I was 16. And one day, before getting on the school bus, he started his crap, and I just fought back, and that was my trigger. And ever since then, that inner dark preservation part of me really came out, and I really was into all that badass and stuff. And it was basically because I was tired of being hurt and I didn't want to be hurt anymore. And nobody was going to tell me what to do and how to do it. And I just had my own ideas. And so, I went through that period when, you have to party and yes, I like to use this. And I remember taking a girl through a glass window in a store after bar closing, you know, crushing full cans of beer with my hands. I mean, all of that, breaking glasses. It was just because my dark side was out of balance because of the trauma and the issues and how I was raised. And so in the 80s, I started, well, married, having kids. I started going back to that religious aspect. It was like, okay, I was trying to find balance in my life. And okay, so let's go completely on the other side. Let's go to a Baptist church. Let's carry the Bible around and let's be a servant to the men in my house and all of his friends. And that didn't work either. And then I soon found out that that dark side was coming out again. And it just started coming out in all different directions. And I was doing things that I look back at now that I'm very embarrassed about. But it's an aspect of us that we all need, and we all need to activate now. But we need to activate it in balance. And it's really interesting because my husband and I was watching Infinity Wars last night. And every time I watch these Marvels or DC comic movies, what I get out of those is trying to awaken the inner superhero of each and every one of us. It's all there. We all have that superhero. And let me tell you, when I was raising my kids, I was Mama Bear superhero. Nobody messed with my kids. And otherwise, women that would come to my doorstep because my child did something or whatever, that woman usually left crying because there was no dealing with me. Like I said, I was real badass. But I was on the light side of it. I wasn't a dark, evil badass. And there are those out there, and we see it all the time. And they are either organic portals or they're so far out of balance that they're really coming back is virtually impossible for people like this. And they've just lowered themselves and, sold themselves out. And I was not like that. I came in to do work, help Gaia and help humanity. And so I always had that within me that kept me, there was always that fine line. But in watching, I gotta grab my notes here. In watching Infinity Wars, and any of those, it's always like, it's either they're keeping the mass consciousness looking on the outside for help or intervention. And usually the mass consciousness in these movies have no clue what is going on out there. They have no clue that there's these people, these badasses out there fighting each other. And Infinity Wars, it was like, oh, half of the universe in the end popped out. And so I'm thinking, man, that's going on today, with the cabal and the Agenda 21 or 34 or whatever it is today, taking the population down to 500 million from 7 billion. I don't even know if there's even really 7 billion of us here. I don't know. But so, I look at it as when I watch it, it's like my internal badassness is really wanting to come out. It's like, I'm, sending fireballs. I'm igniting the fire. I'm using my sword. And I get all pumped up when I'm watching these movies, and and it's like I watch these movies and I go, I never want to be one of those clueless sheeple that have no idea what is going on, the war that is going on around them. I want to be, like Scarlett Johansson, and I don't even know what is her character. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. I want to be like her. Or in Infinity Wars, I'm more like, was it Ultron's? Is that his lover or sister? I'm not really sure. See how far behind I am on this stuff? When she's wielding that fire and she has all that power, and that's who I associate with, because that's what I use when I do my healing work with my clients. Um, it's always fire. It looks like wings. It looks like the phoenix rising back here. But actually it is my energy. It's that dark energy, that very strong, non-subservient dark energy that's coming out in balance and culminating with the light side of me and saying, hey, we're in balance, we're together, we're going to get this job done. And so I work with fire, and I also work with the sword. And it's so interesting. I love working on people this way because it is so interesting to watch this unfold. And it's like me being in part of the Infinity Wars. I get to be, one of the superheroes. And though I'm working on a different plane, I'm working on a healing plane. It's like the witch shaman that's going in there and doing her work. And so it's like, why can't we all do this? So many of us are looking on the outside, and all of this that I do is on the inside of me. I'm inside and letting this shine out, and I'm not looking on the outside. I'm not looking, for some guru out there, some Taoist that can teach me how to, become a samurai, or it's already inside of me. And that's the secret with, these other superheroes. It's like they've accessed what was inside of them. I mean, look at Dr. Strange. Look at how he had to go through his dark side after his accident. He had to go through that dark side, and he had to go down in the trenches, and he was at the bottom. But he got a little bit of help, but ultimately he realized what was inside of him. He realized what his superpower was. And so, watching his character develop and evolve was really interesting. And I know him from another movie, maybe years ago. He looks so familiar, like he did a movie back in the 80s when he was some young kid. Anyways, I don't know. I'll have to Google it. But so this takes me to activating our light bodies. We talk a lot about how activating our light bodies, and so many people have these huge long courses on how to do it, and take my course, and it's gonna take this many months or a year or whatever, which is really not true. You can activate your body right away, and your light body, and the door to activating your light body is through your heart center. And so many people, it's too simple. It cannot be true. It's just too damn simple. No, it's got to be this hard school, like I have to go to Hogwarts for 5 years to become a wizard, and I have to be taught by all these other wizards and witches and whatever, and nothing ever comes that simple. And see, that's the secret here. It is that simple. And so it's really funny how, my nose is running. So working through your heart center, it when you are accessing that dark side of you in balance, you access that dark side of you through your heart center. And that's the secret of the superheroes. That's why ultimately, in the end, even though Infinity Wars didn't end like we hoped it would end, and it's not over with yet, characters in my book, they all seem like they're dead too, but they come back. Um, their power is that they work from the heart. And that's what Thrawn or whatever his name is, he does have a heart and it was shining through, but he was so out of balance that, he was just really, really dark. And, he was so deep down into the trenches that, is he going to come out of it? I don't know, probably not. It usually doesn't work that way in these movies. The dark person just gets killed and that's it, it never is where that dark person finds something to balance himself out and realize, oh my gosh, look what I've been doing. And if I come into balance and integrate my dark side into my light side and work through the heart, oh, I don't care anymore about killing half the universe. That doesn't mean anything to me. My ego is gone and I don't care, if I'm the biggest, baddest dude in the universe. That's not important to me anymore. And all this can go by the wayside. And so that's part of what I teach people in heart math is how to access that dark inner self and how to bring it forward in balance and how to connect it with the light self so we can all go out and become superheroes, be it in your healing work or your everyday life. And superheroes, like I said, they work through love. I mean, look at the sacrifices that they make. I mean, they can't help but being who they are because they're connected to their heart center. They couldn't stop being who they are because all that other stuff doesn't matter to them. They're here, they are who they are, and they're here doing their job, and they're always gonna hear the calling, no matter how difficult it may seem. And they're always ready to hold their hand out and lift up their partners and do whatever they do. Like in the end there, when Iron Man, was just about done for, and who stepped up to the plate and said, "No, no, here, take it. It's not worth it to me. His life is more worth it to me than this. Here, you take it, and I'll deal with it after that. I'm working through my heart, and we will find a way. We're going to come together, and we will find a way." So that's what I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I just want to make sure. All right. Okay. So when I'm working with a client and I'm accessing my dark side and my dark side that is in balance with my light side, trolls, you don't bother me. That's when my fire comes out, my sword comes out, and it's really, really interesting to watch this unfold and how I can take out the dark attachment. We all have those dark attachments, and those are what keep us thinking that our dark side is a bad no-no, bad no-no about us and keeps us from it. It's all programming. That's where our strength is. Until we bring that in balance with the light, we have no strength. We have no superpower. And so once we get those bad companions, attachments, entities off of our backs, it's very hard for us to really see that there is good to our dark side. And that is where a lot of our superhuman, superhero powers, whatever you want to call it, is. And it's about learning to integrate that and not be afraid of that. And we have to learn how to control that, people. And we learn to control that by working through the heart center and bringing that balance. And that's what I do with people. Um, um, let me see. All right, so I think I covered most of that. You know, and like I said, the superheroes, I mean, they work through their heart center, and they're always ready to help each other, and they're always in service to others. Always the service to others. They're not in service to self. The dark guys are always in service to self. And you know, I was really sad that Loki got killed so early in the movie. I mean, I would take that man out for a date. I really would. I don't know why Taylor Swift got rid of him, but that's just how I feel. I see there is good in Loki, even though he was acting bad in the beginning because he was hurt. You know, he was acting out his traumas, and he was a little out of balance because of his issues, his growing up issues, and his feeling of not being loved and his feeling of lack. And so he let that dark side take a hold of him. And we've all been there, and we've all done that. And, you know, it's time for us to say, you know, that was my strong side coming out, and it was just out of balance. And I need to control that and not be afraid of that, because I need to channel that with my light side and use it for good. And so, you know, that's what I've learned to do. And it's so fascinating, you guys. You guys can do it too. And, you know, I'd be more than happy to help you. You know, just contact me. And I do work with you guys online. I do work from a donation basis. You know, and even if you just want to go and purchase one of my books, I got a book for 99 cents. I mean, that's another lecture I could go into with all these people. You know, so many of us are out there helping and doing what we can, and we've been programmed that, oh, you can't make money off of this because you know, you're working for the dark side, which is a bunch of baloney. And I give to people that I watch. I do not donate to them, and even if it's like a cup of coffee or the amount of a $1 ebook, you know, like we've said, if 300 people were watching that day and they all donated $1, I mean, you know, that can really help that person. You know, and I do it when I go to the grocery store every time. You know, I do $1 at a time because I'm at this grocery store more than once a week. So, but we all need to really start supporting each other, and even if it's helping them do something. I have this knowledge, and I really appreciate you giving me knowledge and helping me with my path. And you know, I can help you with this. Do you need help with this? I don't have a lot of money. Or yes, I'll purchase your $1 book or whatever it is, or I'll donate. You know, so many of us are afraid, and I kudos to those who are finally speaking up and finally saying, hey, make a donation. Really, you know, it really helps me out. So you know, kudos to those who are finally stepping out of that matrix, out of that programming that, you know, we're supposed to do everything for free. No, we are in service to others, and being in service to others is donating, and you know, an appreciation for what they've been doing. So, anyways, that's my lecture for today. So don't be afraid, people. You know, $1, or you know, if you're listening to someone and you're really, you know, you listen to their whole video and it was an hour or an hour and a half, you know, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than going to Infinity Wars theater and paying, what is a ticket now? The last time I went, it was $8.50. I don't know. I live in a small town, you know, but you know, that's what I just want to say. And you know, if some of you out there want to get help from me, I'd be more than happy to help you out. And like I said, donation basis, um, you know, whatever. Because I think, when I started learning Reiki classes and I was paying all this money to all these people that I was taking classes from, we learned that no, it's an energy exchange. And what you take, you need to give back. It's just principles, my principles of working with Gaia. If I'm out in nature and I take something, if I take an herb, or if I take a rock, or if I take a flower, or I take a piece of wood, I always give back. Always give back. And I think that's something we have to learn. And, if you take from somebody and you use up somebody's time and their knowledge and, all the years that they've done their due diligence, in order for you to really get something back from it, you need to honor your teacher, each and every one of your teachers. And even if all it was they were able to help trigger something within you, I have that all the time. I'll watch somebody and I'll know everything that they've already been talking about, but some sentence triggered a strong knowing within me. And I might have been on a plateau about something, and I've been looking for an answer or affirmation or confirmation. And they said something that triggered, and then knowing came through, and I was off that plateau, and that information came in. And, and that's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes is maybe one sentence or one word. But we need to honor our teachers. And so we need to really get in and doing the energy exchanges. And if you feel that you have nothing to give in return, then don't bother. Don't bother these teachers. They have a lot of work to do, and it's hard for the teachers to say no when somebody's, needing help. We do that once in a while. But I'm not rolling in the dough, and I'm not rich, and I always find a way. And I know that when I give, I always get back. And I am strong in that knowing. And it might be my last $10, and I'll give $1 to somebody, and then the next day there's $50 waiting, for me. And I just know that, that's how it works. And sometimes it seems to happen to be like you get to your last dollar and it's like, but I just keep the faith. And so that's all I wanted to say. Don't be afraid of our dark energies, or not our dark side. We need to learn how to control that dark side. And that's all part of this ascension stuff. It's not turning the other cheek. We're using, we're working through the heart. Remember, I said we're integrating that dark with the light, and we're utilizing it through the heart. And for some of us, that's hard to understand, hard to grasp. And how do you work that way? And once you start doing it, it's like that knowing comes through, and it starts to make sense. And it's like, okay. And that's where your intuition is at. That's where the answers. Everybody has a challenge, but the heart always has an answer. That's something that Heart Math Institute, that's a saying that they love to use, and it is so true, people. And it is that simple. And don't shun something because it doesn't take 10 years to learn. We've done that, been there, we're over it. And so that's what I have to say today. Start learning how to go down in the trenches, in your dark self, picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and saying, I'm taking you off the shelf now. It's time to look at you, and it's time to see you for what you are, and realize that I was in a place of imbalance, and we all are. And there's that dark crap out there that's always pushing us, making us feel bad about ourselves when we do something like that. We need to get rid of that. We need to stop feeding them. We need to stop the loosh. And this is one of the ways that we can do it. And it is one of the most powerful ways we can do it. They're not feeding off of me. I mean, look at the work behind me. I mean, they're like, man, Denise is starving us out, you know. Nothing bothers her anymore. We're just staying away from her household. But I also want to say, a lot of us, the energies, if whoever's still here with me, have you noticed the energies? Our bodies are losing densities. It's kind of like, beam me up, Scotty. We're starting to phase out a little bit. And I last week, I had a day, 24 hours. It wasn't exactly 24 hours, but the chills and the body aches just out of nowhere. And so things are happening. And I know a lot of my other friends have been saying the same thing, that, they've been feeling this, and it's not the seasonal flu. And so we're starting to really recognize what's going on. And, my appetite has been strange. I mean, I went from not wanting to eat like 2 months there. I didn't want to eat anything. Lost 7 pounds, like just dropped. And nothing looked good. Just like fruit, I just craved, I was craving the acid in fruits for some strange reason. And so right now, I'm like, I have this appetite. It's so bizarre. And it could be part of winter too. I don't know. No sugar. I crave the sugar in fruits, which, the nutritionist said, oh, you can't have the sugar. And baloney. It's from Gaia. Gaia is offering us that's good for you. Fruit. There's a lot of fruitarians out there, and they're just doing fine. And then wanting some more protein. And, I've been eating more chicken, which has been really hard for me. And, I beat myself up. Oh, God, can I get past this? Can I get past this? And the only way I can do that is just thank, the chicken, and be in gratitude and honor, and really bring your heart center, your heart light into the sacrifice that poor animal made. And so right now I'm going through that phase, but I feel that changing again. I feel that going away again. I'm starting to go back into the lighter foods again. And so we just have to learn to go with that flow. Our bodies are still up and down. It's like, we're phasing in and out. Our bodies are doing that right now. And when we're almost phasing out, it's like, we don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. And then we're like back. Something brings us back. We need to be grounded. So we need more protein. And so stop beating ourselves over that. That's, we're going to get through this. And I just had to learn to do this too. So I stopped beating myself up for it. And really, I don't give anybody else trouble. I used to a long time ago. You're eating that steak. I don't anymore. Everybody's on their own path, and there's really nothing I can do to change somebody. They have to change themselves, and it'll happen. So I don't give anybody. My husband's a meat eater, and sometimes when I shop at natural grocers and I have the chicken and I have the buffalo, and my dogs, I make chicken for my dogs. I feel a little guilty, like they're all looking at me like, oh man, she eats all that meat, but it's like, I gotta let all that go. I do. I gotta let all that go. So guys, I think I covered everything, but that's the one thing that came through this weekend, and it was like, I gotta talk about everybody in their dark side. That's our superpower. Time for us to bring that into balance and utilize it through our heart center, so we can use our superpowers and send out that energy and start to kick ass, you guys. Time to kick ass. Yeah, the badass of me is coming out again. But anyways, I'm in balance. We will talk to you soon, and hang in there. Things are really, really happening.